1989, General Pete Schoomaker, after the African embassy bombing, they said, we need boots on the ground. We may be facing these guys with boots on the ground, whoever they are, this Al-Qaeda thing. We need to find out who they are. And they put one of the best. He's not only J2, he's J3. He's not only an intelligence man, he's an operations man. Very rare to find a guy like this. He's come here today. If you give us 5 minutes on what you did and how it dovetailed with what we did, Tony. Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Shaffer.
Well, thank you, Peter. It's kind of interesting. If you think Able Danger is a great name, you should know about toxicogenic goose and Gnostic incubus. Those are also great operations which I have worked with. So, I'm Tony Shaffer. I'm a senior fellow for the Center for Advanced Defense Studies. It's a think tank over on the Hill. We do advanced concepts. So, I'm here today to kind of support Peter. I'm a First Amendment big supporter, but what I want to talk about today is the other point of accountability. And speaking of that, just a quick aside, the center that I belong to is actually over by Union Station. So about a month ago, I was coming back from the center, and it's right literally next to the garage at Union Station. So I'm going back to my car in the garage. As I'm going up the escalator, most of you have probably been there, there's a huge escalator that goes up from Union Station. I'm just kind of moseying up, just kind of standing. All of a sudden, this well-dressed black gentleman comes flying by me in his suit, going to the top of the escalator. It's like, And you mentioned his name earlier, and you'll see the point of my story in a second. He comes by me and he goes up to the top of the escalator, and I'm saying, that's kind of interesting. So I get up to the top, and he's looking around now, and I say, excuse me, can I help you? And he turns around, it's Charlie Rangel. Can you tell me where Union Station's at? You're in it. So.
Ex-Southern District, you gotta love it.
So there you go.
Okay. Anyway. Bada bing.
Speaking of, fundamentally, I think there's an incorrect moniker on this poster. It's not Syriana meets The Bourne Ultimatum. To me, from my experience, it's been the X-Files meets 24. Peter's done a good job of capturing some of the things I went through. It was truly bizarre. One of the things that's not noted in the book is that I actually made my protected disclosure. Well, I think you did note this. I was actually undercover in Afghanistan working on something called leadership targeting. I was a member of the leadership targeting cell going after the first tier and second tier of Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. I was actually on Fox recently talking about McChrystal's selection to be the next commanding general because I worked for McChrystal during 2003, 2004. So it's not like I wasn't on the front line doing things, and Peter's point is well taken. I was actually out there when Philip Zelikow shows up at Bagram saying, hey, does anybody here have any information about, pre-9/11 intelligence? And I went forward, and with permission of the Army, by the way, and that's noted by the fact that I'm still in uniform as an Army reservist. So that's a big point here. And I told him the story in about a 1-hour briefing about the Able Danger project. And during that briefing, I told him the fact is, well, we use data mining, we use some other advanced techniques. Most of that briefing I gave him is still classified despite what the press has talked about. The only thing we've really talked about is Able Danger, not the real objectives of the information. I think you all could figure it out. In the end of that briefing, my summary was, we found 2 of the 3 cells which conducted the 9/11 attacks, and there was just stunned silence, stunned silence. And Dr. Zelikow came up to me after the meeting and handed me his card, which he tried to basically deny during hearings, and when I could present the card to the hearings, he kind of changed the story. And he said to me at this meeting, this is 17 October of 2003, what you said today is very important. I need you to contact me when you return from your operation. And I explained to him that a few things. I wouldn't be talking to him. Be talking to him as Tony Shaffer, not who I was there, and I got that point across. And anyway, that started the whole process of the Able Danger exposure. I won't go into all the details because it's very convoluted. It's still kind of unfolding. The story's not done yet. And one of the people my hat's off to for who has been unrelenting in supporting us is a gentleman named Mike Casper. Mike Casper runs something called AbleDangerBlog.com. So not to belabor the point, Mike, could you stand up for a second? He has been doggedly monitoring this for years, and I still don't know why. So hats off to him. But he has tracked this, and for those of you who want to know more, Mike maintains my testimony and other artifacts about the project. What I wanted to talk about a little bit today was the accountability issue and the agenda there within. There has been, I believe, a failure, not only the 9/11 attacks, but a failure of accountability, because so much of what happened, as Peter argues in his book, I argue directly, was foreseeable and preventable. And that's part of the issue we're dealing with here. I've met with 2 9/11 commissioners since the Able Danger thing broke. I can't go into details. I don't think they want me talking about this in much detail, but one of the 2 actually sat down and told me everybody had an agenda on the 9/11 Commission. Every individual, every commissioner, every staffer. Everybody was there to protect somebody's ass. I mean, I hope you don't mind me saying that.
I encourage you.
Yeah. So that's the deal. And I dare compare myself partially to Jack Bauer. My job is just to go out and get things done. My job is to help win the battles. And I didn't see the last season of 24, but I understand Jack Bauer was here testifying, and so it's all very surreal to see kind of some of this stuff play out after having lived it. So that's something that's peculiar to this whole point. And within the issue of the agenda, within the issue of looking at what really happened, Peter's been outstanding. Peter has tried to do the right thing for the right reasons. And this is what I find very concerning, both as a U.S. citizen and a member of the military community, that you have people in high places of authority, like Patrick Fitzgerald, who really they ain't fans of the truth. And there's always an agenda. And this is where I bumped up against this, and